So, I can see a lot of you have got your phones on the table, which is great, because that's what I want. This is my Twitter handle. And I have a question waiting for you on my Twitter for you to answer. And hopefully it'll promote a good bit of debate from today. So if you're on your phone, you've got Twitter, go into there, type in my Twitter handle and answer that question. Also, if you've got your phone, something else you can do, Google search, and then type in your learning-powered mind. And that will help you guide your way through my presentation. Because and also one more thing is there's probably going to be some music appearing in a minute, just to help me get through the 10 minutes. There we go. Let me turn it down. Okay, excellent. There we go. So now I know that I've got 10 minutes. So my vision is knowing what to do when you don't know what to do. It was something I wanted to inspire in each and every one of my children for a number of reasons, but mainly because it's something that I shared with the school as a whole. It's the school's vision. We're part of the Visible Learning Programme. We're getting onto that and really trying to show the children that they know what they can see, what they're going to learn, and they can use that to help them. And it's all based, Visible Learning is on John Hattie's work. And he's a great researcher. He's taken all sorts of different analyses, put them together to find what works in the classroom, what impact they can have in the classroom. And the one that we're focusing on as a school is this idea of collective efficacy. The idea that when you work together as a team, not just students in the class, but staff and the wider community as a whole, you can have the biggest impact on learning in the classroom and on progress. John Hattie talks about 0.4 being that sort of hinge point where you can start to make progress. And so there's 0.4 there. And he says that some really good aspects are at 0.7, feedback, giving it immediately, giving it bespoke to the student, that can give you 0.7% of an impact and lead to progress there. He also says that student-teacher relationships can also help. And that's something I've definitely worked on in my classroom. But he says the biggest of them all at the moment is collective efficacy at 1.57. So with my vision, I've tried to align it as closely as possible to my school as a whole, and now we're hoping to bring it into the community as well. So here's my vision. My vision is sort of located inside the school's vision and inside the community's vision as well. There are 4 main aspects to my vision that I'll go into in detail, but they're all part of the school's shared vision as well. And as we look into my school's shared vision, we've got these aspects. We've got collaborative inquiry, which is a way of improving our collective efficacy by bringing in the ideas of our teachers and bringing them together and looking at how we can make progress by researching in the classroom and making a difference. We've also got outstanding formative assessment by Shirley Clark, which is, I've been to see her speak, I've been trained by her, she's fantastic. And it's, again, making it visible for the students so they know exactly what strategies they can do and they can find their own gaps in their own knowledge. Then, something that I'm so excited about is that every single member of Key Stage 2 in our school is going to have their own Chromebook that they can use. That is theirs, they take it home. And it's brilliant to see my class have already gone home. I can check on my computer right now and I can see presentations on space. I can see presentations on on the teachers at the school. And it's right there for me to see during the holidays. I can see it and then give them feedback right there and then. They can see me in the corner pop up. Andrew Campbell has appeared, or Mr. Campbell to them, of course. And then they can see me giving them feedback and just feeling that their work is valued. But it also just promotes that aspect of scholarship as well. They take their work home. They don't see a difference between school learning and home learning. It's all the same. We've also got, as I said before, visible learning. But the one I want to talk to you about today, and the one that's on your Google search, is this brain. So if you find that, that's the brain I want to guide you through. It's by Guy Claxton, who works on building learning dispositions and learning powers. And I want to show you how, with my class, my vision of knowing what to do when you don't know what to do has been aided by getting the children to understand what these learning powers are, and within them, what these learning muscles are. And then we go out wider to the shared vision for our community. I haven't said my community's vision, because at the moment we're in a project of trying to bring the community into the school's vision. And my part in that is how can I translate my vision to the parents as the most important stakeholder for me. And that's where I am at the moment, because the community does need help. So my local context of my school, it's in Thornaby, a suburb of Stockton. It's got a 95% white British background. Little diversity in terms of attitudes, and their horizons of where they want to go next are very limited. Not for my children. My children want to reach the stars. A lot of them have got huge aspirations and motivations to get there, but it's sometimes their parents that when I speak to them are holding them back. But that little attitude there. 4% of the local community, which is quite a large. There's multi-generational unemployment. My school's based on an old RAF base. It's tagged onto a council estate where there's very limited aspirations, very little employment in that area. And then 31% of the locality have no formal qualifications. So there is a need for us as a school to work with the community to bring up our vision into making the future generation those who can learn and know what to do when they don't know what to do. And just a further thing from my school is that my school is in the highest quintile for children on free school meals. And that links me on to my Twitter question, if you've managed to find it. If not, it's there for you to see now. And that is that high achievers are not necessarily good real-life learners. And it's whether you agree or disagree with that. And I'm using that in a wider context. It's not just in my school, in my class, but in the national picture. I know that I was a high achiever. But when I got to university, I suddenly realized that I was not a good real-life learner. At university, I could memorize things, I could pass the exams. When it came to university, when they expected me to read independently and answer questions independently without the use of lecturers or other notes to help me, all of a sudden I was very much in the pit. I didn't know what to do. I found each year at university a struggle because I'm not a good real-life learner yet, as Carl Dweck would say. But I know that although my children on the national picture are not high achievers, they are going to be fantastic real-life learners because they know exactly what to do when they don't know what to do. And it's because of this that's helped me throughout my year. Go into resilience first. It's got ideas of perseverance, not giving up, managing the distractions around you. So when people are misbehaving, what do you do? How do you maintain focus? And one of the best ideas I've had for this is the idea of, well, it's not my idea. One that I magpied from other sources is using the pit. So I'd like one of my students to take you through what that is and how it works.
When we get stuck, we either have a whiteboard pen and draw our name, or we use it like a little character. And basically, we put at the bottom if we were stuck on something. And then as we learn it and keep working on it, we use it further and further and further. And until we get to the top, then we know that we succeeded and that we learned how to do it.
Thank you very much, Katie. And there is that idea of resilience. When you don't know what to do, you don't give up, you keep going. And it's making it really clear and visible to them that they know that's how you do it. And I tell them I'm in the pit sometimes as well, quite often actually. Like Mary said, they give you big questions, I have no idea how to answer it. But I tell them that, I say, I'm in the pit now. Or when as a particular student is misbehaving and I don't quite know what to do, I'll say to the rest of the class, guys, I'm in the pit, I'm not quite sure what to do, but I'm going to keep working, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to work out how to get this person back into the class. So I found that a really good vehicle to promote resilience as that muscle. Then we move into resourcefulness, making links, questioning, imagining, using all the things around you. 3 Before Me is a classic example where you use that resourcefulness. But one thing I found really useful is using a program called Class Dojo. And within that, I've created these learning muscles as reward systems for praise. So not only do they hear the great noise of the class dojo going ding when they get something right, they also know exactly what they've done, what learning muscle they've used to earn that. And I took that one stage further by allowing my children to give each other learning muscles so that they're recognizing when their peers are knowing what to do when they don't know what to do. Apologies for Stephen on the camera.
I feel valuable because you're respecting people. When you see people get on track,
I'm not sure if you can hear it, but Bobby said there, Aiden and Daniel, they deserve a point for resilience because they had their little wobbles, but then they got back on task. Okay, so there I was just giving them an opportunity to see exactly where their learning was, and they could see what makes good learning. Then the third learning power is reflectiveness, and that's looking back on what you're doing. Something we do at Teach First is reflecting on our own progress. And the way I've done this is, at my school we don't have parents' evening where you have 10-minute slots where you talk to a parent for 10 minutes. We have hour-long conversations where the child's at the centre. It's the longest part of my job. It's taken up so many hours, but they're the most valuable hours. It gives me a chance to see what the parents are like, how the child interacts with their parent, what the parents want the child to do, what the child wants the parents to do. And for me, it just gives me all that information that I can use to help teach them better. And one thing I did this time is, this is Ellie, she's absolutely fantastic. And I gave her free rein. I said, Ellie, you're in charge. Make a PowerPoint and tell us about your progress this year. And you may even hear her use my vision in her. I didn't make her say the vision, but she has gone and said it nonetheless. Oh. If there's time, I might show you later. But it is fantastic. She talks about her progress throughout the year and how she. The best bit is where I asked her, what did you find challenging about this piece of work? She said, oh, there was lots of new information, lots of new knowledge. But you know what? Like we do in class, I used what I do know to work out what I don't know. I was like, yes, Ellie, thank you for that. And then Mum and Dad obviously very proud and pleased by that progress. And then they see exactly what I'm doing in the classroom. They see that's how I want Ellie to be as a learner, and hopefully they will keep that and use that for their own vision for their child. And finally, the third learning power is reciprocity, the hardest word to say in the world, especially when you have to give out certificates at the end of the week saying, well done to Ellie on using her reciprocity learning muscles. But this involves things like listening, empathy, collaboration, working as a team. And I really love doing that. And the biggest achievement for me from this, through working on collaboration, mixed ability groupings like Mary had, working with peers to give themselves feedback, was when I took a group of year 5s that I worked with to Conyers School, which is the local secondary school, and we entered the Lego computing competition. And at the end of the day, us at the BARDA, we were the champion collaborators. We won a trophy for our collaboration. And that was so fantastic. I just took a step back. I was there, I sat down, I watched them, and I watched them interact with year 7s, year 8s, asking them for help, saying, oh, thank you for the advice, thank you for the feedback. Not just getting on with it and doing their own thing. They were saying, what do you think, JJ? Oh, I don't know, let's ask this person. It was brilliant to see. And then, again, they learn, and they learn that that's how you learn. And so I'll come to the conclusion, really, and my next steps is that at the moment, that's where my class is, and I want to develop that further. I want them to use those learning muscles when I take my new year 5 class. I want to use those learning muscles that I haven't quite focused on this time. Things like imagining, I find is quite a difficult thing for children who've got those limited experiences. How do you get that learning muscle into your classroom? I want all